Hello and welcome to the Overly Animated Podcast, where we take animation seriously. We provide fan-oriented and analytic discussions on a variety of animated shows, movies, and anime, currently featuring Steven Universe, Star vs. Force of Evil, and Samurai Jack, among others. I'm Dylan Hysen, and today I'm joined by Delaney Stovall.
Hey, y'all.
And Sam Quattro.
Hello.
Today, Delaney, Sam, and I will be discussing the probable Season 4 finale episodes of Steven Universe, Are You My Dad, and I Am My Mom that aired tonight on Cartoon Network, the conclusion to this week's Steven Bomb. And again, probably the finale. I'm not 100% clear on that, but it would make sense with the numbers. So, very exciting getting into these two. We've been talking about the Steven Bomb all week here on the Overly Animated Podcast. You can check us out at overlyanimated.com, subscribe to us on iTunes at overlyanimated.com/iTunes, or search for us on your favorite podcatcher or podcasting app. So, big spoilers for Are You My Dad and I Am My Mom. We've been ragging on the titles here. We didn't do Lion 4, but we also ragged on that title way back when, yeah. But I like these two titles for these episodes, although I think that, the first one makes sense too. So, we'll there's our beginning title analysis. Apparently there's no thoughts on that, but, let's get into these episodes. Spoilers again, and, Delaney, big events, it's happening.
Yep.
.gif, what's your reaction?
Okay.
Okay is your reaction?
I don't know, I feel like I don't know, like they're just so they're just very interesting episodes. I'm still not sure if I'd say they're incredible episodes. It was just like a lot of plot kind of in your face, but then it kind of got weird. So I think the first episode is really good. We're unraveling the mystery, and then the pieces are finally coming together. And I was like having those like, oh my god moments where I was like, oh wait, now this makes sense. And I guess it didn't occur to me that they were being abducted. like I was just like, oh, they're missing. That makes sense. But I didn't we saw the shadows, but I guess I don't know. I think it was really neat. The framing for the first episode. And then, holy crap, we have two new gems, and Aquamarine is scary, not in the fun way that Baby from Star vs. Forces of Evil is scary.
No, these are similar characters, but yeah.
So they're very similar, but Aquamarine is really scary and British.
Yeah, British. Yeah, you're burying the lead, Delaney. Well, Steven's gone.
I thought we were gonna work our way through there.
What's your reaction? What's your reaction?
I mean, I'm really not that surprised. I've been saying we were going to Homeworld forever. And I'm really excited that we're going. I never really thought that it'd be Steven on his own, but he's not on his own. Lars is there, which is why this is why we built Lars up a little bit, because now he's going to be on this epic journey with Steven. I don't think Lars is the best candidate for this, but Lars is still on the ship. I don't know. I guess I didn't have a lot of time to sit with it. For Steven's gone. I know it was a heavy moment and they played it very heavy, but it didn't hit with me the way I think it was meant to. Obviously it was really astonishing, but I don't know. It's not so much that Steven's gone. It's so much I'm just ready for where they take when he gets there. And are we going to see that, or are we going to be dealing more with the aftermath of him being gone first?
Yeah, it's hard to. I mean, we're doing this right after we watched it. It's hard to take that in right away. If it is true that he's gone and he's going to Homeworld, that's the biggest thing that's happened in the show. So let's make it clear. This is incredibly notable. But I agree. It's hard to fathom this so far. And on the Lars thing, we'll talk about this more. But I didn't notice this at first. Lars doesn't get off the ship, so presumably he's still on the ship.
Well, it's because he hid.
He hid. He's not dead.
He's dead.
He's not dead.
R.I.P.
I mean, he might die.
I don't know.
Good.
I'm just.
Wow. Rude.
I know this is a big moment. I don't feel like it, if I had imagined this moment, I don't think I wouldn't feel what I would feel more than I do when I actually watched it unfold. And I think it unfolded in a kind of a weird way.
Definitely, the second episode, definitely one of the most interesting Steven Universe episodes. The structure's all weird, and it's half of it's a fight. It's really, I guess it's jailbreak-like. I guess these first two episodes are the season 1 finale, but yeah. Very interesting. Sam, what are your reactions to Steven being gone and the new gems and everything?
Okay. Yeah. We're finally going to Homeworld. Yay. I was like really into it, like more so than I've been with like really any Steven Universe episode in like the past 9 months to a year.
That's a long time.
Yeah, I know, but it was just like the show actually did something, and it went somewhere that like I didn't think it was going to go. And I was like really exciting, and I was really surprised. I don't really like Aquamarine or Topaz too much because I think they're kind of mean. I don't like
they're kind of mean.
Yeah, they are. They're mean. Yeah.
I don't know. Also, Aquamarine's kind of small.
Yeah, she's small.
She's small. She's like a little bug.
Yeah, true.
I don't know.
Okay.
Like the main takeaway is just we're going Homeworld. Yay!
Yeah, I mean, like, we'll see if we go to Homeworld.
We're gonna go there.
He's on the ship. You know, they were on the ship before and they got pulled back. Like, there's ways out of this. But the main takeaway here is that we've paid off this Steven's mom arc in a major way, and I am very satisfied with this payoff. I don't care like that he's on the ship. I don't care that we're going. I mean, I care that we're going to Homeworld. Like but that's for later. Steven, like, this has emotionally resonated and settled with him, and he has determined that he is responsible for what Rose has done in the past, and he can do differently than what she would expect of him now. And we saw Line 4, and Line 4 is like, oh, if this is the payoff to all the Rose stuff, this is unsatisfying, and Storm in the room, this is unsatisfying. This is satisfying for the Steven and Rose arc. I love this, Steven doing something drastic because of these complex feelings with Rose, and I think the situation made some amount of sense, and really this kind of resonates throughout the entire series. Steven could have stopped any of this stuff from happening probably if he just turned himself into the gems, I guess. I mean, it seems random that they're like, oh, we'll just take Steven instead of all these
tried to do this before, though. That's the thing. Like, he's he's mentioned this before.
Steve, this is the Harry move in the last book, right? And this is, you know, and it's the typical. This happens every hero series, and
well, I'm glad that it happened. I feel like it's nice. I mean, he's like his own person, and he's like making a decision that he didn't think that his mother would want, and you know that's a sign of like growth. I think, you know.
It seems like illogical to us or whatever. It's like, why are you doing this, Steven? On the other hand, really, there's no way that this is going to keep escalating. The diamonds are going to come. There's no way they can beat them. Something like this has to happen. Like, really, this is just going to get further and further insurmountable for the crystal gems. And I don't know. I think this makes some amount of sense. Obviously, I don't know how it's going to work out well. I also don't think this is the end of the show, so this is interesting that this is just an arc and not like a culmination. But yeah, just on the perspective of this being the end, the build up, the resolution to the Steven Rose arc, it's great. I think these two episodes are both really good. The last one's hard to evaluate because it's such a weird structure. I love Aquamarine. Maybe I don't think this is a surprise, but maybe my favorite gem now. Like, love
no one 0%.
Like Topaz also seems cool, although she hasn't talked, so it's hard to
tell.
She's
just Lapis, smaller and more rude, so that's naturally why Dylan
more
likes her.
Rude Lapis is great. Like, it's so
no,
good.
But she's not rude in like a good way. She's rude in like a
I know, that's great. Like
I'm literally afraid of her.
Yes,
she's like a
perfect.
tiny school principal. Like,
I don't like that.
Rude. I don't like her.
No, she had so many good lines here, so fantastic. And I love the gem placement and how it factors into her design. I think that's really interesting.
I don't like that. That means something.
Like, I love the use of her here. I mean, it's so weird that they like design this gem and it's like, to seem like non-threatening and like a little girl asks where's her dad. And like they design this whole plot around this concept based off of her design. I don't know how we get to the point where these two episodes happened, but, it's really strange. And, it really worked as an introduction to her. She really shined in the last 5 minutes of the episode with some great lines. And she's also potentially the most powerful non-diamond gem we've seen. I think clearly, maybe, you know, with her OP like suspension beam
or like
magic wand. So. Yeah, like syndrome. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. This OP like too powerful, I think.
I like how
she's not as powerful as Lapis, but
yeah, she can just suspend like all the crystal gems and that's it. I don't know. It seems very.
It's
powerful.
Like 10 years later and you're still using OP.
Yeah, OP, man. That's it. But
and I still think, why is he saying that? He means like original poster? No, I'm overpowered.
That's another 10-year-old usage though, original poster. So I don't know. Yeah. Right. But yeah, big fan of a lot of stuff in these 2 episodes. I think it's really, I'm obviously super glad that they've done something that forces them to do a plot thing, because the past, like Sam said, 9 months, we haven't done anything that has. There's been no episode that's except for like going to the zoo. So that's the other, but then we immediately reverted back to where we were before. There's been nothing that they've done that they've couldn't undo immediately. And now this is something that we have to address. And I'm very excited to see what we're getting into.
We gotta deal with it.
In season 5. It's not clear what could happen with the crystal gems getting there. Because they really don't have.
They're gonna take Lion, and Lion's gonna be like, "Hey."
Oh yeah, Lion could probably port them somewhere. Yeah. Now is the time, Sam. Okay, this is Sam's fault. Now is the time for the Lioness Pink Diamond to pay off. Yep, because
well, I used to not believe it, but you know what? It makes sense.
It makes sense. There you go. Sam has spoken. Okay. So Steven's, there's a million things to get into. Steven's going to Homeworld, like, maybe. We'll see. And, Lars is also there. So, yeah, why do this? Why?
I don't know. Why?
It's not even clear that it happened. I missed it on my first viewing, honestly. Like, cause they're not like they say, oh, Lars is here. It's just Lars doesn't drop off at the end. So presumably he's on the ship. He could have fallen off earlier, but I don't know how that would have happened. So
we're going to go to Homeworld and get more Lars character development? Great.
Great. Is this the Lars Steven buddy cop movie that we've been all waiting for?
Movie.
Yeah.
I thought that one was the new Lars.
Again, are they going to body swap and for no reason, and they're both still captured? What's the? I don't really understand Lars being there. That's like the most in 2 episodes of really strange stuff. Like Lars going with Steven to Homeworld is the strangest.
It's not even so much strange as like I'm not excited about it. Like
I would say
are we doing this to ourselves?
I think I'm excited. I don't know, like I don't know how it's going to be good, but I'm excited for like.
It's hard for me to imagine it being good.
It's just like what would you even do with that? It's kind of intriguing in that regard.
Kill him.
No.
Kill him.
Lars will not die.
Got it. Well, we almost saw Jamie die today, and it was like, whoa.
True.
Yeah, I would have had no reaction to that, but
I had a reaction. I was like, oh my god.
Jamie's apparently over Garnet. That's the headline.
That is the headline.
Okay. Yeah. So Steven's on the ship. That could do a lot of speculation. So I talked about, this is a culmination to the Rose arc. Steven says, I can do, I'm the only one that can stop what she started. She wouldn't have wanted this, but I do. What do you think of, this is a potential resolution to this Rose Stevens stuff, Delaney?
I hope it's not the end. I'm not as satisfied with it as you are. I think, especially this week, has thrown in wrenches into, honestly, they've kind of brought into question, like, this whole, like, I don't care about it anymore. And honestly, they've actually kind of shown, like, Steven to be acting very childish in that, we've had, like, with line 4 and this idea that, oh, I'm just supposed to be your kid, which there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, I think they've thrown in some pieces that they could have not thrown in there. And now they've, I don't know, they've dragged it out to the point where I'm like, I don't care anymore. And then on top of that, so we're having this moment, it's this big moment for Steven. And yes, it is a culmination for him emotionally, but as a viewer, I'm not satisfied because, like, one, nothing's happened. Yeah, he's sacrificed himself, he's going to the Crystal Gems, whatever. Well, he's going away, like, he's leaving, he's going to Homeworld, supposedly. And they have crafted it. There is no way out. They don't have a spaceship. They actually said that. They're like, we don't have the spaceship. If they are taken, we can't get them. They're gone. And, like, they actually said that. And so, that, like, they're actually doing this. It appears that they're actually going to Homeworld. but like for Steven's Steven emotionally, yes, but I think as the overall arc, no. Because I think like we have to make it to Homeworld. Steven has to do something on Homeworld. He has to talk to the Diamonds. He has to do something about like this whole like Rose stuff. Like to me, it was gotten to the point that it's so like mangled. Like the Lion 4 episode absolutely made like no sense, and like it was just really weird. And I think that kind of weakened a lot of the power behind this conflict Steven's been having with his mom.
I definitely agree this arc has been all over the place. It's been a lot. It's been long, over a long period of time, a long period of episodes, and it's been trying to do a lot of things. And I also definitely agree that we're not done with it. I think we're done with this arc. I think this is the end to this specific arc, but Steven and being Rose is a fundamental part of his character. So in that regard, it's never going to be done. And we might tackle this as from another angle now. Yeah, I don't see how this relates to Lion. I think you bring up good points. I think we can just ignore that episode, potentially from the canon of the show, which is frustrating. But I think I love how this relates to Bubbled and some of that stuff we're getting into before that with Bismuth and also with Storm in the Room. I think for me it feels satisfying here. It's like Steven culminates his self-image with regard to Rose and does something. Like it's like, I'm not doing what she wanted me to do anymore. I'm just doing something on my own. I need to do something here.
I'm my own person.
I think it culminates his frustrations in a way that, at least for me, was satisfying. But I do see where you're coming from on this.
To me, the most satisfying. I just want to say, to me, the most satisfying thing of these two episodes is the connection to the beginning of the show, in that him talking to Peridot. To me, that was like the real moment.
Okay, let's table that for a second. But yeah, that's definitely the next topic. Sam, what did you think of the Steven Rose stuff? Are you more Team Dylan or Team Delaney on this?
I feel more Team Dylan, I guess. I don't know. I mean, it's like an essential part of Steven's character, and it's like, it's never going to go away. But I think that we're going to see less of it, maybe less of it, like in the way we've been seeing it. I think, I'm thinking about that room full of, what do you call it? Rose quartzes that are just hanging out at the zoo, and it's like, thinking about that, I'm thinking about, what does, like, Steven's gonna have to like walk away from like, the concept of like his mother, and maybe go into the concept of like what it means to be a rose quartz gem. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think getting into the other roses is another interesting way to approach this. It's like, I think this like resolves everything Steven's been feeling with Rose, because in the following angle, like Steven's frustrated about, the morality of Rose's actions and how that affected the people around her and how that affected him. And I think him deciding just like, I don't need to follow what she's doing. I'm my own person here. I think just frees him from those frustrations. It's like, okay, this was just a separate person and these things are irrelevant now. And I'm just going to try to resolve this in whatever way I think best. I think that's a really interesting angle, to approach this from.
I think it's just weird because this whole like, there wasn't anything Rose wanted him to do that we've been presented with, and I think for me that's why this isn't satisfying. Like, this is Steven's rebellion, but like Rose just wanted him to live, and that's fine. That he feels that he has this destiny and it's his responsibility to change things. But that, to me, that is why this isn't satisfying, because this isn't this. Like, okay, as far as Rose, she killed Pink Diamond, she's a war criminal, and then she, like, hid on Earth, and she has her little, like, ragtag team, and she left her child to be raised by them, to be a person, just to be a human, and to live his life. And that's fine and dandy, and there's nothing wrong with that, and really, like, and, Steven doesn't have to be happy with it, and he could be happy with it, like, it doesn't really matter either way. But I think, to me, that's why this isn't satisfying, because, like, it's not this, like, there is this idea of Rose hanging over him, but there's not this like, and honestly, I think this isn't really him, like, thinking of it as him throwing off this mantle of Rose and not being like Rose. I think this is the opposite. It's actually like, he's correcting what Rose did. Like, he's actually like, you know, he could just live as like he could do nothing with the crystal gems. He could like have nothing to do with it, but instead he's like he's embracing this like gem part of him, and he's going to do it. Like he's going to correct what like he's not like I don't know. To me it's not this. I don't know. To me, it's not as profound and as like clear cut presented as I think like it's easy to think or feel that it is. Because to me, it's not like it's not this like direct rebellion. It's not him kind of like turning away from Rose. It's him like stepping up and doing what he thinks Rose should have done.
So that's a really interesting angle at the end of this isn't him doing like if he wanted to disassociate from Rose, he can just like not have anything to do with gems or anything like that. This is him actively trying to correct her mistakes.
Like he's trying to he's trying to like change her legacy.
Yeah, I think that's really interesting. So in response to the first part of what you said, this arc has never been about Steven, like what Rose actually wanted from Steven. I think this has always been about just what's the pressures Steven feels that he puts upon himself.
Right. Well, and it's him thinking that. It's because he thinks Rose had something for him. That's what I meant. Like Rose didn't have anything for him. She just
I totally agree with you. Steven's like frustrations with Rose are unfounded in the sense that she didn't expect anything from him. I think
and I'm not saying that's like a flaw with Steven. Like that's how he feels.
Well, yeah, I mean, you could definitely argue it is a flaw, but the reality is he feels this way. I think Rose potentially, I think like the one of the points is that Rose put, unintended, like weights on him, just from the circumstances of his birth, and he's
right.
Well,
so she left. I mean, she left pieces.
Yeah, and but yeah, it's never. It's kind of just irrelevant what Rose wanted. It's all just about what Steven felt in relation to her, and I see this as a culmination of purely as Steven's feelings, not as any sort of actual Rose expectations here. And it's he's like, I'm freeing myself of these burdens I placed on myself. That I thought were from Rose, and I'm my own person. And
to me, he's looking for his destiny. He's decided this is what it is.
That's interesting.
To me, that's him embracing. Like, we have that scene with him in the notepad in Lion 4, and you know, Destiny's there in like all caps and it's circled. And that's what Steven, like, he's not looking for like he was looking for meaning in his life, which is like, that's super relatable. And like, you know, and he has this greater destiny in that, like, I mean, he's, you know, we think about it that way because like he's the main character of the show and like this epic mythology that he's a part of. But that's really, I guess, like, it took me a little bit to like come to this, like, be able to articulate this. That's what I mean, I guess, by this isn't this rejection of Rose. This isn't like, this is this culmination emotionally, but I don't think it's so much as related to Rose as it is this idea of Steven finding meaning in his life. Because like, I think the Rose stuff actually got tabled. Like, aside from him being like, I'm Rose Quartz, is that he is like, he's decided this is his destiny, this is what he's going to do, and that's what he's been searching for. He found his destiny, and he's gonna like, and so we're gonna like shoot off from there. But the Rose stuff is still there because it's not like, granted, there's just a lot of stuff going on. Yeah. Everything, of course, is just tied into Rose because this is literally all her fault.
It's bringing in the destiny angle is really interesting here. Steven, of course, doesn't say that in this episode, but I think it's reasonable to apply that here. I think after thinking about it for a second while you're talking, I think my reaction is that this is Steven choosing his own destiny rather than him, like in Lion, he was trying to search out what has been assigned to me. What is my destiny in that, what did Rose want me to do? What's my role in everything? This is him saying, screw any of that. I'm deciding that here's what I'm doing. And, I think like I agree with you in that it's a little bit of, he's not really choosing his own path. He's kind of still just like, going down Rose's path and trying to fix
and like, this was the only path like for him. Like, what else was he gonna do?
And
honestly?
Yeah, and I agree. It's like, it was like forced by a situation and forced by the circumstances of his birth. I agree with all that. I think in his head though, this is him choosing what he wants to do. She wouldn't have wanted this, but I do. So I think it's all just about inside Steven's head, and in that regard, I think this is him breaking free of the Rose's destiny stuff. That being said, it's definitely an interesting discussion. I think this all brings Line 4 back into it in a better regard. So I'm happy about that. But, yeah, I mean, this is going to continue for a while. This is an interesting debate about, this arc, and definitely not clear cut. And I think in that regard, it's also really interesting too. That it's not, something so simple of a moral sometimes like the show likes to do. Anyway, in the interest of getting to other things, let's talk about this, Peridot thing that you brought up with Steven. So it turns out the list of humans that Aquamarine and Topaz want are, this list from Steven from like season 2, I think.
Oh, it's so stupid.
Is okay. Well, Delaney doesn't think so, so we'll get her take first. But yeah, it's one of these season 2 episodes when Peridot was still a villain, and it included my dad in it. It really, so I think the first thing is that it felt super like out of place and interesting. It's like
really random.
It seems super random in an episode full of kind of weird things. This was, I feel like, the weirdest, bringing back this moment that I barely remembered from 2 years ago. What's your take on it, Delaney?
So, like, I do agree that with Sam that conceptually this is a stupid thing. This is a dumb thing that happened. But for me, like, the ramifications for this and for Steven, like, I think for the show is this, like, we seem to go, like, we have callbacks to things that happened previously, and there are events that happened previously that directly influence, like, later events. But for this callback to, like, there was, like, and a lot of things, there was so much with Homeworld that seemed, like, inconsequential. Like, yes, we had that moment with Yellow Diamond and Peridot, and yes, we have, like, consequences later, but they weren't those direct, like, it's not like Yellow Diamond descended and destroyed the world. Like, there were other events that led to that, and then them actually going to, you know, the zoo. And so, like, and these things are, like, coming together very slowly, and that's, to me, is, like, this callback that, like, what Steven has done has had immense consequences for him and his planet and his friends. And I really liked this, like, they've abducted his friends, they've abducted everyone that Steven cares about. And that this callback, like, it's just one of those, like, to me, this is one of the more more impressive things that's happened in the show, is that we took this kind of seemingly innocuous moment, you know, Steven talking to Peridot, this stupid, like, green Dorito villain, who is very not threatening, is, like, basically, like, the equivalent of, like, an IT geek, like, on Homeworld. And we've turned this into this, like, life-altering moment for Steven where he has to make this choice, and also, like, finally everything is impacting everyone in Beach City. Like, everyone, like, Steven has all these relationships with these people, and, like, now all of them are in danger. This is kind of, like, full disclosure, but, like, to, like, the umpteenth degree. And yeah. I just appreciate all of that and how all these pieces have come together. And to me, that was really the most impressive thing about this episode. Is this, like, super random and stupid, but, like, the consequences of what Steven has done, and, like, what more could there be? And also just this, it also starts to make more sense about, like, why Yellow Diamond cares so much. And then also, this information was sent to Yellow Diamond. Yellow Diamond has all this information that Peridot gathered. Peridot's past has come to haunt her. Peridot is, like, she's gonna, like, at some point, like, they're gonna have to go talk to Peridot. And, of course, Peridot's gonna feel awful. But also Peridot will have insight into, like, what's going on. But it doesn't seem all for naught. Like, it's not all this, like, waste. You know, Peridot wasn't just this, like, stupid gem. She was actually in contact with Yellow Diamond. This information is there. And, like, what else do they know? Because of, like, you know, all these different missions, especially in season 1 and early season 2, where, like, they're just destroying these random things. This idea of Homeworld is just this kind of, like, vague concept. But here we're actually facing the realities of, like, these kind of inconsequential things are actually going to greatly affect, like, how the rest of the series plays out, because Yellow Diamond cares now. Like, she's like, oh, I'm done with all of you.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting angle. I can relate to a lot of what you're saying here, in that a lot of times, like, things happen with aliens on the show, and then there's just no result. And it's like, I agree, it feels really good when things matter. And this is like giving significance to a time in the show when nothing mattered. And it's like, yeah, Steven, all this stuff you were doing when interacting with these aliens on Earth has a consequence. So I can understand it for that there. My reaction was like, I didn't even remember this moment. The concept of like the my dad thing being a name seemed pretty stupid. And
right.
The biggest thing though was it's like the mystery is paid off with something that I didn't even remember happening and didn't really care happened at the time. So they felt unsatisfying to that degree. What do you think, Sam?
It's just so worthless and like contrived. Like this like throwaway nothing line from like however many years ago is like making its way back, and like I get like consequences and all that stuff, but I just don't see why this is the specific moment that should matter, especially when it's like like a year or two turnaround time, like in universe. Like, oh, they couldn't have gotten to that like beforehand. Now they gotta go like maybe what happened with the zoo or whatever. But I just don't feel very satisfied with the whole idea that like something that little small and insignificant could just like set forward the plot, and it just feels like it's reaching and like they didn't plan that. I don't know.
There's a million things that have happened since that Peridot thing that would have felt more satisfying coming back now.
Yes.
Like, why is it that one? And it had nothing to do with the mystery this week. Like, it kind of makes the other episodes feel worse, I think, just because it was, so I agree with Delaney. I love when things happen, and I think that relates to the entire end of the episode. This specific Peridot thing paying off felt really stupid. Yeah.
I honestly can't, though, like, think of, like, any other, like, why, how would they know who to take? And, like, I think they, like, Yellow Diamond, like, kind of called Steven out. Like, this was obviously Yellow Diamond's plot, and, well, Yellow Diamond and Blue Diamond are working together. That's the other thing that this demonstrates. And to me, this is the beginning of, like, what we were talking about back in the zoo. Like, when are they going to start doing things? That whole, like, really ominous song and discussion of, like, they're coming back, and, like, they have a plan for Earth and for Steven.
Yeah.
And so I think that's why this is important. And yeah, I agree. That's dumb. Like, it's stupid. The concept of it is stupid. I think the execution was excellent, however, in that, like, you literally couldn't see it coming. When they showed the scene, I distinctly remembered that scene where Steven talked to Peridot. Like, I remember that. And him, like, listing and all that stuff. And I do think, playing Steven, this whole, like, I'm going to take everyone you care about because Yellow Diamond knows. I think that's what this is. This isn't just this kind of ploy. Like, Steven knows. Like, she knows how Steven is.
So you see motivations from Yellow Diamond beyond what was presented in the episode affecting this. I think that's interesting. I definitely want to talk about the diamonds. That Yellow Diamond motivation thing maybe helps alleviate this frustration, but I don't understand why the gems wouldn't be able to figure out that humans aren't just, don't have naming conventions like gems. Like, that felt unsatisfying to me.
Okay, that's fair.
The gems are really smart. Like, Aquamarine, obviously incredibly intelligent. Why can't she understand that my dad isn't, like a species of human?
Because they don't have dads.
Well, that's the thing. They don't have dads, and they talked about that. Also, like, the language thing, and on top of that, like, this, I mean, it's stupid, but it makes sense, especially considering, I mean, I think Aquamarine actually kind of makes this thing, like, if I ever have to be sent to Earth, like...
Right, so she actively avoids, like, Earth.
And not everyone, like, not all of the gems are familiar with Earth. Like, there are probably gems who've never been to Earth. They just know, like, the Earth colony. Like, you don't know anything about the planet.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand how you arrive at this point, certainly, but the diamond hierarchy, making it all the way down, like, she reads it in the report, and it feels silly, but yeah. So let's talk the diamonds. So this is a yellow diamond gem and a blue diamond gem working together. They say in the beginning they sent them. So it's the diamond sent them personally. They're big deals, says Pearl. And they speculate, I'm going to emphasize speculate here, that they're collecting more humans for the zoo. But we don't ever hear them say that that's the purpose of taking these humans, which I think is interesting.
I doubt that's what they're doing. Like, I do think this was kind of like why would they care about taking, like, these, like, they know there are humans on Earth. Like, they understand that.
Yeah, I've always hated the concept of, oh, and now we just need to collect more humans for the zoo. Like, that was the big speculation for this week, and they kind of pay it off here. This makes no sense. Why would they want to take more humans for the zoo? So it kind of they present it in a way that kind of makes sense with it's like, these are the 6 species of humans that they know about because of a report from Peridot. And I think that's the understanding of Aquamarine and Topaz. But, is that the motivation of the diamond? And I really hope the diamonds, and I really hope the answer is no.
I'm pretty sure at this point, especially like Yellow Diamond has talked to Peridot, that when Peridot was like, bye, and all of that, and also like direct confrontations with Steven and kind of like, well, she knows of Steven. Granted, I'm still a little bit confused about like, why doesn't everyone know like he's Rose Quartz, but,
yeah, I do think too.
The diamonds are, granted, I really hope so, but I am pretty confident that the diamonds have, like, there's more at play than what, like, the little, like, peons under them know.
Don't insult Aquamarine as a peon. Jeez.
I'm wondering, like, why they wanted the humans. Like, they didn't really seem to want leverage over Steven or the crystal gems.
Well,
maybe
Topaz,
just research?
Well, Topaz and them, like, wouldn't know.
Yeah, but if they just know it's in the report. So Delaney's speculation is that this is Yellow Diamond exacting, like, vengeance upon Steven, or, like, trying to bait Steven. Maybe this was, like, Yellow Diamond's motivation. What do you think of that, Sam?
I don't know. Don't really know.
Why wouldn't Yellow Diamond just come to Earth, though?
Yeah, why wouldn't she just want to take Steven directly?
Well, think about it. Like, this is, like, such a typical, like, villain thing to do. Like, you want to hurt them.
Okay.
Like, I don't think... I honestly, in the scheme, Yellow Diamond probably doesn't care. Like, she doesn't want to kill Steven. That she doesn't care enough about that. But she wants to, like, kind of torture him a little bit. And then also this ultimate, like... I think, according to Yellow Diamond, like, they're still going to blow up the Earth. This is all about bitterness and, like, revenge on, like, the Earth colony.
We have to remember, Yellow Diamond still thinks the cluster is happening, or, like, has another cluster thing in place, or knows something we don't. I really don't understand the motivations of Yellow and Blue Diamond. The whole logic presented in this episode with, like, these are what they think the species of humans are from the Peridot report, and now we're taking them for the zoo. That's like what's presented at us. It comes from a lot of different angles, though, and it comes from people who don't understand the true motivations of the people at play. It comes from Pearl, and it comes from Aquamarine, and it's very possible they don't really know what's going on. Certainly, what they present to us, I think, is very unsatisfying to me in terms of, like, ultimate motivations of the homeworld. I don't know why this is what we'd be doing right now. I think there's a million better things we could be doing and more important things. And if I'm Yellow Diamonds, I don't know why I'm even sending, like, this is, I also think there's a potential take here in that this is like the third time we've had Yellow Diamond or the Diamonds, send someone to Earth to deal with something on Earth. And, so
one of these days, she's just gonna have to come directly. Like,
why are we still sending lackeys? Like, why are we doing this again and again and again? It's like, it's the fourth season, and we're still going through the plot, arcs of, like, send lackeys, deal with the consequences. Presumably we're not turning these two in good, but we guys went through that with the rubies, and, like, it's a lot, and I don't know. I want to deal with the diamonds directly, and I guess that's what we're doing now. So let's do that. Also,
about the zoo thing, like, I think they kind of, like, say that's not really what's going on in the episode, because they said they didn't specify if they wanted the humans alive or not. Okay, so true. That is definitely true. I wouldn't read too much in that, because Aquamarine's just being like a glorious
bad cop.
Like, right, no, I know.
She's being, like, haughty and, like, is this what it said? But you'd think she'd be telling the truth, that the report didn't specify alive, but I guess it not specifying something isn't the same thing as, like, dead or alive.
Maybe they just thought that they could find another Jamie or something.
But on top of that, too, though, thinking about, like, okay, if the crystal gem, like, the gems don't have a concept of, they have loyalty to their diamond, but they don't have this kind of concept of love and, like, care, right? And so it's kind of interesting then that they're threatening, like, oh, we're gonna, like, pop this, like, dude. And they're, like, they're expecting that, like, they're holding him hostage, and they're expecting this to kind of, like, sway them. So
yeah, I don't. That was weird. How did Aquamarine know that would be effective? I agree. Because
she's smart.
That's a human emotion.
Right.
Yeah.
And the gyms don't understand that.
That was another thing in this. This episode is filled with like 20 different things that felt weird. That was definitely one of them. Like the hostage thing, and it didn't even matter in the end. Like it was just like a second in the episode, and then we did something else. But yeah, I didn't really understand that part. Yeah, I think that like that's a little bit incongruous with the whole Aquamarine doesn't understand how Earth or humans, and so therefore the naming thing makes sense. But then on the other hand, she gets like hostages and like threatening people. I don't know. Anyway, that's a lot of stuff here. I don't even know if we've been through everything.
No.
There's yeah, I mean, I want to talk about Aquamarine more. Like there's a lot of lines there. Yeah, but let's go back. We had okay. Let me quickly go through my notes here on the episodes. We had the distinguished khakis in the beginning.
I'm a distinguished boy. That was my fave.
Yeah, don't I deserve distinguished khakis? That was a good line read.
Dylan did not spell khakis right in his notes, by the way.
Not an important word.
Public shaming.
Yeah, I wear them, but don't spell them. There you go. Magic beans. Yeah, that was the thing.
I know
too.
From experience.
Yeah, that was a weird line.
Also, Amethyst, like, that, they got me, though. Like, I was like, oh, she's drinking soda. It was beans. And then I was like, I'm still not surprised.
Yeah,
like,
no, it makes sense.
I appreciated that dumb gag.
Yeah, also that triggered me, by the way. That was,
why?
That was really gross. Oh my god.
That is
what? Drinking beans?
Drinking the bean juice? Oh,
that
so
is pretty gross.
Oh,
I do that.
No,
I like eating food straight out of the can.
No.
You strain the beans, like you
strain them. I rinse mine. I don't want any of that juice.
When the apocalypse is happening, and you guys are too sensitive to eat bean juice, you're gonna die. So
yeah, that's true.
And I'm okay with that.
Facts. Pearl and Garnet's tiny house for crabs. I think was good. Yeah, it was gay. Domestic Pearl and Garnet shipping.
Obviously.
That's not a thing. Yeah. Onion missing, the donut shop closed. Barb. Barb was a big character.
Back up.
Yes.
Why is the donut shop closed? Are those Larson City the only two employees?
Yeah, I knew you were going to talk about this.
Do they have managers?
Yeah, where's the manager? Where are the other employees?
Manager? It doesn't seem like either of them are the general manager. Do they have like an area manager? Like, come on, they have to have like a chain of command somewhere, and somebody needs to be able to open the store at some point.
This happens though. Like they're closed all the time.
Yeah, no, this has been a thing before in the show where they've been closed.
It bothers me.
Yeah,
it's not how businesses work.
They don't have other employees. Nope. Barb, Sadie's mom. Sadie owns it. There you go. She a bunch of mailman jokes, and I think they're all great. So
I love Barb.
Yeah, it was good.
Okay, can we take a moment about the Onions missing poster? I'm pretty sure was like something that he did in the newspaper, and they just scribbled missing. Like I think it was like a wanted poster basically, and they scribbled missing onto it. It was really good. Yeah,
seems appropriate. But yeah, we had one of my favorite things. This first episode of the two was really good. Yeah, we had everyone trying to draw Aquamarine from Steven's description, and then Connie has like the anime drawing. She has the like how to draw manga book, and she like sketches the eyes and like.
You even have the lines in there from our kid.
There's a good art joke too. I told Connie's like the anime nerd that has that book. It's so good. And then we have what's the other ones? Amethyst is like.
Just like
I was going for a feeling.
Yeah.
And then my favorite, Pearl.
Pearl's objectively the best.
Yeah.
I can't draw a circle.
Yeah. It was. Was it a drawing of? It looks like lapis, but I guess Aquamarine looks like lapis in general. So
it was like also the gayest drawing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Garnet draws herself. I like me.
That was really good.
I liked that.
Yeah.
Like Garnet just panicked, didn't know what was going on.
Sam, when's the article coming on the art take of their four drawings?
All right, so in college I did not take any drawing classes somehow.
Okay.
So I don't know.
So not coming. Gotcha. Okay. But yeah, I really like that moment.
I'm not going to critique a 10-year-old or 12-year-old. Sorry.
Connie's a great draw, and then Steven's like, Connie's is the closest, yeah, and it didn't look like her at all, so that's good.
So good job.
And then at the end, Connie sees her and she's like, looks just like my drawing, yeah.
No, she doesn't.
Yeah,
it was so good.
Yeah. Yeah, and I like this talk of, again, another really random thing in these two episodes. Connie's theories of like, there could be another gem like Steven, right? And then her logic of Steven happened, so therefore it could happen with someone else is pretty sound, I think. And, this is something that we've gotten into in past roundtables.
So Steven's not the last Airbender.
Yeah, not the last Airbender. Weird to bring it up here when it didn't matter at all. So I wonder if this was just to service the mystery, like this was something they're speculating on, so that's what they talked about, or whether this is foreshadowing for something to come. Maybe, I mean, there's humans on the zoo. What about...
well, I mean, considering the government of Homeworld and like kind of the Brave New World-esque attitude and kind of this like hiding of information, I would say that there's probably a really good chance that there are other.
So what's the theory? The theory is that they like the Diamonds order experiments of human gem commingling, right? And then they have secret Stevens there. Wow. I think that's the new theory from this episode. Yeah, like it seems
Rose wasn't the first renegade.
Yeah, maybe that's like a whole nother thing too. But like, yeah, it's like there are other gems that like intentionally.
This sounds like the plot of Percy Jackson.
No,
I've never actually partook in that, so I don't actually.
It sounds right to me. I also never did that. Yeah.
I mean, it's the idea that like all these gods have like different children, but like.
I think that there's this theory of we're going to go to Homeworld and there's going to be other Stevens. Steven's going to meet other Stevens. I think that makes sense because I think this is deliberate foreshadowing.
Steven and Stevens.
Steven and the Stevens is back. Yeah, that's going to be good. Yeah, that'd be. I'm in on this. Let's do that. So we'll check in on that. There's the Steven and Connie's whole story of how Aquamarine has a dad adopted like on Earth. That was good. With the book, movie, and random moment of Connie like sticking her hand in the air. Yep, there's wind. Like
that was great.
Yeah, interesting. And then Aquamarine, Connie, they take her, the whole thing with Topaz. We haven't talked a lot about Aquamarine. We haven't talked a lot about Topaz. Topaz is a fusion of two Topazes. At the end, Aquamarine is like, Topaz, do this. Topaz, help her too. Which I think was good.
I won't lie, I was shook. I thought Topaz was like a dude gym for like solid 5 minutes.
You're that person on Reddit.
You are.
You're
eraser.
It's not that I care. Like it was just like I was just like what. Also, Topaz is like a really interestingly designed gym. Like
yeah,
what?
There's not really many distinguishing features.
Valid.
Yeah.
All right, I have a thing.
Like it doesn't matter, but I was just like that's what I thought for like solid two, like a little bit.
Yes, Sam.
Sam has a thing. So the hot discourse on Tumblr is Steven's size TM. Steven seems to fluctuate with size, depending on the episode.
Yeah,
it's very annoying. And it's very notable here when he gets stuck inside a log. And, like, why? Why does he get stuck in a log? At some point...
Look, this is just the different storyboard artists draw him differently.
I did notice that this episode looked distinctly different than the episode previous.
It's being out of hand.
Yeah, well, that was Raven and Lauren in that episad, and
guys.
Whatever. Steven looks differently in different episodes.
Everything just kind of looked darker.
This is not new, but
like it's fine. It was just that was just something that I did. It's more noticeable to me.
Let's quickly talk. Topaz, the concept of Topaz putting humans in between the two Topazes and then fusing.
That makes me feel weird.
Super weird.
Yeah. It's like it's the Doctor Who villain from
that is the worst episode.
That's one of my favorite episodes.
It's awful.
It's the Doctor Light Companion Light episode with the yeah, anyway, that one they got the kid to draw the make up a villain, and it's the one that like absorbs people. Yeah, that's what that is. So
somebody suffocates.
Yeah, I guess Jamie's head was. I like how Jamie is like.
Well, they're made of light, so like I think that's also another like weird.
Why
thing
can't they be freed then?
Yeah, what about just holograms with masks?
What about Topaz in general? Topaz just seems like another Jasper.
Honestly, it's just like a bigger like
just the muscle.
Also, can Topaz talk?
I don't know if she can talk. That's interesting.
She's the muscle.
Yeah. That Aquamarine definitely more standout, but Topaz interesting. Throwing new gems in still very notable.
It was like Tweedledee Tweedledum stuff, basically.
Yeah.
Can't wait for Emerald.
I guess coming eventually, yeah.
Someday.
Voiced by Sam. Oh yeah, it's Aquamarine voiced by Della Saba, British, obviously. She's young Judy Hopps in Zootopia.
Nice.
There we are.
Yep. Steven's, why are they taking only people I know? Because my friends are the best. And then,
and then everybody's just like,
everyone's like, hey, yeah, I like that.
Not really.
Yeah. Why make that joke though and then focus all the time on Steven's friends? Yeah. Anyway, let's any comments on Aquamarine's suspension beam? So, how is this not just OP? Like, what's going on here?
Well, my thing is, like, I mean, Lapis is, like, absurdly powerful, so...
This seems, like, more powerful than Lapis, though. Can you just freeze Lapis?
I don't think, like, I mean, in, like, concept of, like, what Lapis can do, like, Lapis could theoretically, like, destroy the entire Earth.
Yeah, the thing with Lapis is that she just doesn't try that hard, so we never see we never see the full extent of her power. So it's hard to argue against it. But yeah, she just Aquamarine pretty effortlessly.
Like in a fight. Yeah. But like, I'm curious as to like what utility Aquamarine serves.
I agree with that. Yeah, she just has this magic wand on her like ribbon or something on her head, and she takes it off.
Can she pick things up? Like, what's the purpose of like?
Yeah, maybe she moves things around because she suspends it, and then
like,
I guess that
Topaz and Jasper, like they're just like brute force.
Yeah,
Blue Diamond seems to have a lot of like really like OP gems under her.
Blue Diamond has the most interesting gems, like
Sapphire. It kind of makes sense. I mean, you can think about it in that like. I mean, the diamonds themselves surely like represent different things too. Like yellow diamond seems to just be like brute force and like power, and then there's like, I mean, you think about like all the different gems. Like we have quartzes and topazes. Like these are like, they're sturdy rocks, and then on top of that, like they're like the gems themselves, like their purposes are like for building, for fighting, and things like that. And then meanwhile, we have like Sapphire and these kind of more thoughtful, like emotional gems.
Yeah, it's interesting that the different diamonds might serve different functions themselves. I don't think we had a lot of evidence for this before, but now we're again seeing another like blue utility gem and another yellow strength gem. I think it's getting interesting at that.
But I guess quartzes are on pink diamond actually.
Yeah, but the quartzes are pink. Yeah, it's still I think it's still notable though that the blue has all these weird ones. So. That still might be a thing, I'm not sure.
Very small.
Yeah, we talked to Aquamarines. Did they specify alive? Yeah. Steven breaking out with the bubble. Aquamarine, you're ruining my moment. I love that. And her whole speech there. Lars. Oh,
I know why I don't like her. She's like, she's from, what's her face in Powerpuff Girls?
The one, I know what you're talking about.
She's Princess Morbucks. Is that who you're saying?
That's why I don't like her.
I also love Princess Morbucks. So
see, this is why
Dylan. I think Dylan has a type.
Well, yeah, obviously.
No, Dylan obviously has a type.
I like the Mean Girls. Yeah,
yeah. He likes bossy Mean Girls.
Chloe is his fave. Like we all know.
This is a recurring thing on the podcast. Yeah, but no, you'd like Princess Morbucks in the reboot, Sam. She's potentially gay. So
I mean, that ups my opinion of anybody really.
We'll see what they pay that off. Yeah, there's our Powerpuff Girls discussion. But yeah, it's what was Lars not helping. Right, so Sadie's like in trouble and Lars just runs and hides instead of helping.
Useless.
Sigh.
Way to be a Jerry, Lars.
Lars is the Jerry of the show.
It's a traumatic experience, and he just can't deal with it right now.
Oh my gosh. Are Lars and Sadie getting their divorce too in the season?
They might be. I hope not, but they could be.
Is Sadie, if Steven comes back with Lars and like after like a few months, is Sadie gonna be like relieved to see Lars or like upset that he like didn't help her?
Both.
Upset.
Yeah, probably both. I don't know.
Well, with any luck, she'll have a girlfriend, so.
Fair enough.
Okay. There's like an extended fight sequence. What do you think of the fight sequence?
It wasn't really like super interesting. It was mainly like it was just like trying to get everyone away. Like it wasn't really, to me, it wasn't really like a fight scene so much as like I don't know. Yeah, just kind of like evade.
Yeah. I think it was interesting. And the other notable line I'd written down was, if it weren't for me, they wouldn't be coming for my friends. And if it weren't for my mom, they wouldn't be trying to destroy the earth. That last part's really interesting take from Steven. Like she was trying to save the earth, but then by her trying to save the earth, they're trying to destroy Yeah.
With I
definitely think Steven's perspective is a little twisted now with Rose, for sure.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So we'll
we have a dilemma.
Okay. I think I've quickly Steve thoughts. Yes, he says compared to the other bombs, kind of weak. No gems till the final 2 episodes, and that hurt it. So what do we think about that? So this is a weird bomb in that it was like no plot, plot. But overall, Delaney, do you think you're like satisfied with these 5 episodes?
I actually really liked the bomb. I kind of like this cohesiveness to the bomb, and then kind of like I wasn't that happy with the ending to the Good Lars, but it's interesting because like he was taken, and so he didn't actually ditch. He wasn't going to. He got taken before. Also, I was watching the episode. I was like, oh, that's why he wasn't there, and that was like halfway through like the last episode, and my girlfriend was like, "You're stupid. I didn't even watch this," and like I already figured that out. And I was like, "Why are you mean to me?" But so I thought it was really good. That also kind of like made the episode a little bit better, but it's also kind of weird like relying on that because it's like things in retrospect. But I really liked the bomb. I was really satisfied with it. But I think it's like I understand that like there weren't gems and like why typically the Bordy episodes are pretty like kind of terrible, but I think everything worked really well this week. And I definitely with Line 4 because I wasn't like on that podcast. It was like I kind of like ragged on it a little bit, but I think it was very interesting as a Lion for it, like as a Lion episode. It's kind of like Angry Lion, but I thought everything was great, like even including Lion 4.
Sam, overall bomb thoughts?
It was okay.
Yep.
I mean, thanks. I watching them, I felt good, and I felt like I felt like it was compelling and interesting, and I felt a way I haven't felt in a while while watching Steven Universe. In retrospect, after discussing all of it, I feel like it kind of maybe fell flat a little bit with like the plot and like the contrivances, but overall, I thought it was good. It was good. Good job.
Thumbs up on the bomb from me. I enjoyed it. My episode rankings are Are You My Dad, followed by I Am My Mom, followed by The Good Lars, followed by Dugout, followed by Lion 4. Delaney, go.
Oh God, I don't know. I do want to say that if I'd watched it, I think if I watched them all on the app. Like, it came out on the app, I used the app, I watched them all on the app. I think if I'd actually watched them weekly, I would have been like, no, I don't like it as much. Like, it was
rankings, go.
I don't know. I think I agree with your ranking. I don't really know if there's a big difference for me between, like, I like Are You My Dad better than I Am My Mom.
That's what I said.
Is that what you said?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Then I agree with you. I don't know. You went super fast. I don't know.
Sam, rankings.
All right. I Am My Mom. Are You My Dad? The Good Lars, if that was the title. Line 4. Dugout.
Oh,
me.
I really like everything from the Dugout on. I'm still really disappointed with Line 4. Is my take. But.
All right, so
Line 4 was just like depressing, like the most.
I Am My Mom elicited a reaction out of me, and that's why.
Yeah,
I liked
fair enough.
Yeah, it's just I Am My Mom super hard episode to evaluate. Really odd one. And then Are You My Dad? A lot of great gags. Anyway, let us know your thoughts on the bomb. All the stuff we talked about. There's a lot here. We're going to be unpacking this for a while until whenever the next Steven Universe episodes are.
Yeah, we're going to be in therapy, just like getting through the issues.
Yeah.
Figuring out like who we are, why we're here.
The psychiatrist.
Find happiness from life and like.
Isn't that the whole show? Like
of Steven Universe, yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, you said unpacking, and that's what therapy is for.
Okay. So,
or you can like hire like some movies.
Our next roundtable will be Steven Universe Therapy to deal with the fact that Steven's gone, and we'll see.
Dylan doesn't think I'm funny.
It'll be all the characters in therapy.
Yeah, we'll have our simulation of the Pearl goes to therapy to deal with Steven being gone. Yep.
Pearl crying though got me. Won't lie. Yeah.
There's one moment when someone said something and someone else said something. I forgot what that was.
Wow.
They said the same thing. They said the same thing right after. That reminded me. I think it was Pearl, but I don't remember. Anyway, too much.
Feels like what we do all the time.
Yeah, we're over an hour. So long Steven Universe discussion unpacking this finale. Thank you guys for listening. Check us out at overlyanimated.com. Consider supporting us at Patreon. Patreon.com/overlyanimated. Thank you very much to all of our patrons, especially our patron of the podcast, Hugh, aka Hugh Neutron. Thank you for your support as always. And thanks as always to our patron executive producers, John, Ryan, Steve, and Alex.
Yay!
Check out future roundtable discussions and other stuff, overlyanimated.com. So thank you guys very much for listening, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.